When I was 6 years old, and my baby sister was just about a year old, we had a nanny named Christine. She didn't live with us, but she came over every day to help around the house. Sometimes, her adult son would stop by in the afternoons to check in on her. One day, a gold coin went missing. It was a special one my stepdad had given my mom. Something from the Spanish royal court, since he was originally from Spain. My mom and Christine searched for days, thinking maybe my baby sister had accidentally grabbed it and it got thrown away with the diaper or something. After a while, they gave up looking. Not long after that, Christine asked to borrow our car, which she did pretty often, and went home. But the next day, she didn't show up. Instead, her son came by to return the car. He sat with me and my sister, holding us both on his lap, while we all talked about how strange it was that Christine hadn't come back. We didn't know at the time, but that was the last day we'd ever see her. A day or two later, my mom got a call asking her to come in to confirm something important. Christine, she had passed away. What we later learned during the investigation was that when she went home that day, she found her son working on that missing gold coin, trying to shape it into a belt buckle. They had a serious argument. After that, everything happened very quickly. He ended up returning our car, the same one Christine had taken, and gave it back like nothing was wrong. Later, detectives came to our house and asked my mom to open the trunk of the car. What they found confirmed what had happened. This all took place before he sat with my sister and me that day. He was later sentenced to many years in prison. For a while, he used to write letters to our family. I think he was released early, but by then, we had already moved far across the country. I don't think about this story very often, probably because I was so young when it all happened. But the gold coin was eventually returned to my mom. She had it turned into a necklace pendant, and every time I see her wear it, I remember. When I was about 10 years old, I had a good friend who lived around 4 miles away from me. I used to walk to his house a lot. To get there, I had to walk along a long road that passed by a giant cornfield. There were only a couple of houses along the road, and most of them looked completely empty. After hanging out at my friend's place, I would walk home the same way. The road was usually quiet, and I almost never saw anyone walking their dog or jogging. Most of the time, I was completely alone. The houses I passed always looked abandoned. The windows were boarded up, and the doors were always closed. It felt like nobody had lived in them for years. One day, on my way home, my shoelace came undone. I bent down to tie it. That's when I saw something strange, like a shadow passing over me. I quickly looked behind me and saw an older woman standing just a few inches away. She had short black hair and the creepiest smile I've ever seen. She was reaching out towards my shoulder. I didn't say anything. I just turned and ran as fast as I could. I only looked back once, and she was still standing there in the same spot, still staring at me with that same creepy smile. I ran all the way home and burst into tears as soon as I walked through the door. I told my parents everything. They immediately drove past the house with me in the car. Unfortunately, no lady was to be found. Over the last 11 years, I've walked past that same house a few more times, just out of curiosity. I've never seen anyone near it again. The house still sits there, empty, just like it did that day. Even now, I still get chills thinking about it. This happened when I was very young, so most of what I remember is how it felt and what my parents later told me. My family was driving along the back roads between New Hampshire and Maine during the fall. We were staying at a cottage like we always did that time of the year, just enjoying the colors of the leaves and the cool air. We were coming back from a day trip when my mom suddenly started yelling at my dad for stopping the car out of nowhere. Right in front of us, on this rough back road deep in the woods, there were a bunch of cars stopped in all directions. It was late, dark, and very quiet, except for the bright headlights shining in every direction. I remember my dad slowly turning around in his seat to look behind us before backing up the car. My mom went completely quiet. The only thing my dad said in a strange, calm voice was, "Ugh, I hate traffic." He turned the car around and started driving back the way we came. As we did, we saw other cars coming towards us. They started flashing their headlights as they passed. My dad didn't stop. He just kept driving. And I remember the mood changing fast. Just a few minutes earlier, we were having fun, and suddenly, it was dead quiet. I didn't even ask questions. I just sat there. It felt heavy, like something was off. Then, some of the cars behind us started honking and flashing their lights too. Eventually, they all turned off onto different roads, and we kept driving until we got back to the cottage. That night stuck with me, but I didn't think much of it until decades later. My dad and I were talking over a beer, and he brought it up. He said, "Remember when we were driving in the woods up north and came across that weird traffic jam?" I said, "Yeah, kind of. Why?" He looked at me and said, "Your mom and I always thought that might have been one of those fake roadblocks where people tried to trap you. You don't remember how those cars started coming up from behind us and honking? Or how they were speeding up like they were trying to box us in before we turned off?" I told him I kind of remembered it, but I always thought it was just weird drivers or maybe a detour. He didn't say much after that, just kind of changed the subject. He started talking about how we should plant new trees in the backyard, but ones that didn't drop leaves, because in his words, leaves suck.